summer in Savannah, Georgia, was synonymous with tranquility and solitude. While my parents basked in the allure of our vacation home, I found myself relishing the freedom of being home alone, with only our 2 cats for company. Our house, standing proud by the canal, was a realm of privilege and adventure. The canal whispered secrets of adventure, boasting a Boston whaler, jet skis, and the promise of endless fun. Our haven was secluded, shielded from prying eyes by the marsh and a lush park. My parents' wealth materialized in our yard, a house, but more so a playground for aquatic endeavors. Every summer, I cherished these weeks of unbridled freedom. No parental scrutiny, no rules, just the thrill of having the world at my feet. The girl I had been seeing joined me, adding a touch of companionship to the serene nights. As we relaxed in the hot tub, the world around us faded into the background. However, the quietude of the night was shattered by an unsettling sound from the canal. Curiosity piqued, I peered into the distance, spotting a lone kayaker. Though unusual, I brushed it off as a harmless presence, the canal being open to the public. As the night wore on, the sky darkened, and rain began to fall. Seeking refuge indoors, my room faced the canal, offering a prime view of the scene outside. But what followed was a sequence of events that would transform tranquility into terror. A white light pierced the darkness, dancing erratically through my window. Bewildered, I turned off the TV, enveloping the room in darkness. With the curtain of night drawn, I approached the window, my heart racing with dread. Through the glass, I saw a figure, armed with a flashlight, waving it with a deliberate intensity. It was the kayaker from earlier, the same one who had seemingly noticed us. The girl beside me echoed my confusion. Together, we tried to rationalize the eerie spectacle. "How did he know we were in this room?" she asked, her voice heavy with unease. I explained that the glow from the TV must have given us away. It was a mundane explanation for a bizarre scenario. Summoning my courage, I opened the window and demanded to know his intent. The response came as a plea for help. "I'm injured and trapped in a kayak," he cried. Disbelief mingled with concern as I relayed the situation to the girl beside me. Her advice was simple: go out and assist. Summoning my bravery, I ventured into the night, a mix of apprehension and a primal desire to protect surging through me. The air was heavy with the scent of rain as I faced the unknown, inching closer to the enigmatic figure. But as I was about to answer the call for help, a terrified scream echoed from the house, shaking me to the core. I dashed back inside, locking the door behind me just in time. A force collided with the door, followed by desperate attempts to twist the doorknob. Armed with a knife holder, I raced upstairs, securing my bedroom. As I barricaded myself, the girl shared her chilling observation. She had seen him approach while the lights were still off. It was a revelation that shattered any illusion of innocence. The man was no injured kayaker seeking assistance. He was an intruder, a sinister presence lurking in the night. His true intentions remained hidden, cloaked in darkness and fear. The police arrived, conducting a thorough search of the premises. But the man had vanished, leaving behind questions and an unsettling sense of vulnerability. The kayak, a silent witness, was also gone, as though swallowed by the night. In the aftermath, my parents' absence felt like a beacon, drawing unwanted attention to our possessions. Our sanctuary had been invaded by a lurking menace, an intruder who exploited our seclusion for his own sinister purposes. The memory of that night's horror would forever mar the tranquility of our Savannah home. In the summertime, when the world transforms into a lush canvas of greens and blues, I am drawn to the great outdoors. Monson, Pennsylvania, a place where my family's 2-acre haven resides, becomes my sanctuary. Among the sprawling landscape, there's a shooting range, ATVs, dirt bikes, and enchanting trails that wind through the dense woods. It's a haven for adventure and escape. One cloudy afternoon, the air heavy with anticipation, I decided to embark on a bike ride through those very woods. The forecast hinted at an impending summer storm, but the thrill of the adventure beckoned me regardless. I hopped on my mountain bike, the wind already teasing the scent of rain, and headed for the familiar trail. As I pedaled uphill, the gusty wind surrounded me like an old friend. The yellow sky occasionally pierced through the dark clouds, a fleeting moment of beauty in the midst of impending rain. The atmosphere was electric with the promise of an impending storm, and I welcomed it with open arms. Upon reaching the clearing that marked my usual resting point, I marveled at the view. Little did I know that this day would unravel into something eerie and unsettling. As I browsed through my phone, the world suddenly shifted. The once boisterous wind and rustling leaves came to an abrupt halt, plunging everything into an unsettling silence. A chill ran down my spine as I realized the familiar sounds of nature had vanished. It was then that a peculiar, high-pitched voice began to reach my ears, a sound so unsettling that I yearned for the wind to return. Ignoring my unease, I brushed it off as an animal's call. The silence was broken by the eerie sound of snapping twigs nearby. My heart raced as I turned my gaze in the direction of the noise. What I saw defied logic, a humanoid figure, hunched over among the trees, watching me. Dread clawed at my chest as my mind raced to comprehend the unnaturalness of the situation. Rain suddenly began to pour, a fitting backdrop for this eerie encounter. Fear gripped me, and without a second thought, I pedaled with all my might, my thoughts consumed by escape. Lightning flashed across the sky, painting the scene in stark contrast, and thunder resonated through the air. Reaching the crest of the hill, I dared not look back. Rain plastered my clothes to my skin, mingling with the sweat of terror. I returned home, the bike stored away, and entered the safety of the house. My pulse still raced, my breath labored, but I couldn't bring myself to recount the events to my family. Upstairs, I collapsed onto my bed, exhaustion and fear mingling in my veins. It was then that nightmares took hold. In my dreams, the woods were transformed into a nightmare realm. A sinister figure, demonic and twisted, floated through the darkness, fixated on me, drawing nearer with each passing moment. Morning brought relief as I woke, but the memory of that eerie day lingered. It had been a journey into the unknown, where nature's symphony turned sinister, and shadows held secrets beyond comprehension. The woods, once a place of solace, had become a chilling abyss, leaving me with the unsettling realization that some mysteries are better left unexplored. I can still remember that summer night, the warm breeze carrying the scent of the ocean as my beachfront town came alive with the promise of weekend adventures. Those weekends used to be filled with carefree moments spent on the beach, laughter echoing through the air, and friends soaking up the sun. But on that fateful evening, innocence gave way to terror, and a fun night out turned into a chilling nightmare. In the summertime, my town is a hub of excitement, and my friends and I thrive on the vibrant energy. But as the years passed, things changed. Friends settled down, priorities shifted, and our weekend escapades became less frequent. It was in this changing landscape that I encountered James. I met James and his friend Alec during one of those dwindling nights out. They were a bit older, more experienced, and seemingly looking for a good time. Alec's departure was unremarkable, leaving James and me to continue our night of revelry. He was engaging, charming, and our conversations flowed effortlessly. It wasn't long before I agreed to another night out, this time at the suggestion of James himself. The second encounter was a different tale entirely. It started innocently enough, a text, a plan to hit a beach bar. But when James showed up to pick me up, Alec was nowhere to be seen. My apprehension was brief, shrugged off with a probably when I asked about others joining us. The night began with a dive bar, a place that radiated an unsettling red glow, the air heavy with an unknown tension. We drank, talked, and laughed amidst the dimly lit bar. James, more enigmatic this time, seemed intent on keeping my glass full. The drinks flowed, and with each sip, the world around me blurred. My last memory before the abyss was James offering yet another drink, a friendly smile masking his sinister intentions. I awoke in darkness, disoriented and trapped. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for my phone, a lifeline in the void. Stumbling to my feet, I groped for the wall, seeking the unfamiliar comfort of my surroundings. My fingers found a switch, and the room illuminated. Cold concrete and household objects met my eyes. Fear prickled at my skin. Beyond the closed door, the abyss awaited. A basement, a labyrinth of shadows and uncertainty. I navigated blindly, driven by desperation and fear. My heart raced as I sought escape, only to hear a voice from the darkness, James. My scream echoed in response, and his assurance did little to quell my dread. He materialized in the murk, a looming figure with promises that sounded like threats. His words hung in the air as he cornered me, his sinister intentions chilling my soul. The confrontation turned physical, my instincts pushing me to fight. But his threats of weapons and violence were too real, trapping me in a nightmare of powerlessness. He left, locking me in the darkness once again. The seconds felt like hours as I planned my escape. When he returned, I seized my chance, overpowering him and retrieving a switchblade, a feeble defense against the unknown. Fueled by terror, I fled the house, leaving behind a nightmare that defied reason. The aftermath was a blur of panic, legal battles, and a tainted sense of security. Roofied, violated, and trapped in a web of darkness, my nightmare became a testament to the lurking horrors that can hide beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary encounters. The case against James remains uncertain, yet the scars he left behind serve as a constant reminder of the darkness that can envelop even the most vibrant of summer nights.